Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah! I'm gonna come.
Wow.
How much is makeup, Nicholas?
Wow.
Yeah! How much is makeup, Nicholas? I'm gonna come.
Wow.
All right, everybody. I'm back. Let's get the show started. What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from New York City, Queens to be specific. It's your boy Renee with the morning afternoon live show. What's up, everyone? I don't know what degrees it is outside. It's 77. It's not hot. It's not cool. It's just right. You know what I'm saying? Just like me. I'm just right. And I'm just right for being here. What's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Yeah, I know it's not Monday, but I couldn't go live yesterday because I had a fever. This is what happens when you get 2 shots injected in you and you go to bed Sunday and you're like, oh, I feel fine. Everything's okay. And then you wake up the next day and you're just like, what just hit me? I felt like a truck hit me. And then later on, I got the feves. But I'm doing okay now. I am fully energized and I'm ready to talk to you this week. This will be the last live stream for a while, I think. I don't know. Let's see how my schedule plays out, because if you saw my post on the channel yesterday, I have a very busy schedule for the next couple of weeks. So just to recap things, so just so you all know, by the way, hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and checking out the live stream. I hope you are all doing well. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And I hope you all had a great start to your fresh, brand new week this week. So yeah, so just quick reminder on scheduled things and all those little tiny details and all those things like that. So this weekend, I'm going to Baltimore Comic-Con. I am there to help out my good friend with their business and their promotion of a brand new app. I'll release details about it later on. I'll talk more about it and all that. It's a very smart idea, and I think it's going to do really well. So I'm there just to help out for the weekend. At the same time, starting tomorrow, press screenings for New York Film Festival is starting, and I am attending. I have been once again granted press access to New York Film Festival. And for the next 2-3 weeks, I'm going to be going and checking out a whole bunch of movies. I think the last time I checked, I am going to be clocking in maybe around 15 movies that I'll be watching in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think. So my first screening start tomorrow. Unfortunately, I will miss Thursday and Friday. There are 2 movies that I really wanted to check out. I'm going to try to see if I can reach out to their representatives to see if I can be granted another screening opportunity. If not, I guess I'm just going to have to wait until they come out, just like all the normal people. Oh, no. What? That's okay. I don't mind. So yeah, so because of all that, and just so you guys know, whenever there are press screenings for New York Film Festival, they happen during the week and they start very early. Usually the first screening of a day, with the exception of tomorrow, is 9 or 10 in the morning. So I'm basically, if there is, and the way it works, and what I'm gonna do is for everything that moving forward, every event I attend, every trip that I take, I'm going to be vlogging in. I'm going to be kind of doing these vlog videos that give you good examples and ideas of my experiences, things I've seen, you know, what I'm doing at the time. Those are all going to be exclusive to memberships. So if you are a member of the channel, reminder, memberships are just $1, $1 a month. You get access to all of those vlog videos. And then eventually, not immediately, but I will put a lot of those vlogs together and do like a quick recap that I will publish publicly on the channel. So it's just a nice little incentive for you guys to become members of the channel, a nice little bonus and extra for all of you. I know I haven't been doing a good job maintaining exclusives for memberships and members and all that. So I figured this is a great start and a great time to kind of do that because, like I said, I have a lot of stuff coming in with the Comic-Con in Baltimore this weekend, New York Film Festival stuff happening in the next couple of weeks, New York Comic-Con in November, right? And then hopefully my Japan trip in April of next year. So a great way to experience a lot of that stuff and see what I see and experience what I've been experiencing is to become a member on the channel and all that. So yeah, so because of the crazy, wacky schedule, I don't know when I'll be able to go live again. More than likely, since press screenings are not done on weekends, I will probably have a chance to go live on a Saturday or Sunday. So the best way to find out and stay up to date on all of those things and my schedule is really just to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and check out my posts that I post up there. Because once you see that, I do my best to update everyone on my schedule every week, especially when it becomes really wacky and all those things. You know, just like what's going to happen in the next, pretty much the next month. So, and of course, on top of all that, I'm still in the process of moving. So that's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening behind the scenes. I'm hoping at least by the end of November or beginning of September, I'll be in my new quote unquote studio. So hopefully you guys will get a chance to do, and I'll be vlogging those details of, you know, me setting the studio up, me, you know, kind of detailing my move from here. It's going to be an interesting ride for the remainder of the year. So if you want to stay up to date on all those things, once again, great way to do so will become a member of the channel. And like I said, $1 a month will get you all the insights of everything that I'm experiencing for the next couple months. All right. So with all that being said, the schedule for today's show is a bunch of trailers have dropped. So I'm going to be reacting to some of the trailers I dropped. There's a new trailer for some movies called Brothers, which sounds like they took the premise of the original Twins movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito and kind of put a spin on it. So we have Brothers, Small Things Like These is a new movie with Cillian Murphy. Women of the Hour sounds like an interesting movie that's coming out on Netflix in October. We got a new trailer for season 2 of Gremlins, the animated show on Max. I haven't even had a chance to see the first season, but now it's called Gremlins The Wild Batch. So hopefully it's not going to spoil too much for me, but I'll check it out anyway. We also got the last and final trailer for Transformers 1, which surprisingly, I am hearing amazing things about. So I don't know if I am to believe that stuff. I guess I'll just wait and see when I see the movie for myself. And then lastly, we got a horror movie. This might be the last official thing that Shelley Duval did before she passed away. And the movie, funny enough, it's called The Forest Hills, which is funny because if you know New York, if you know Queens, there is a neighborhood in Queens called Forest Hills. I don't think it's related to that, but I just figured, let me check this out and see what this movie's about. Then we'll go over some box office recaps from this past weekend, with Beetlejuice remaining on top. But I did say it was going to take a tremendous dip. I said 60%. It looks like it did a 50% drop from last week. But the big news, in my opinion, is Speak No Evil. It did actually pretty well. I know some outlets are saying it did okay. You have to keep in mind, this is a Blumhouse production. Blumhouse doesn't spend an exorbitant amount of money on their productions, on their films. Maybe at most 15 million, maybe pushing the boundaries a little bit, they'll do 20 million, but averaging like around 10 to 15 million. I think for Speak No Evil, the budget was 15 million. And it looks like in about 2 weeks, they should be making that money back because of their huge opening weekend for them. Not overall in the landscape of movies that are out at the theaters right now, but for them, I think they did pretty well. And you'll see when we go over all the numbers and all that. And then lastly, we'll go over some of the latest news that dropped as far as movies. We'll do a quick recap on the Emmy stuff. I didn't watch the show. I didn't watch the awards show. There's just too much that comes out every year on TV and cable that I just don't have a chance to watch a lot of these things. So most of the time, if I were to watch it, I'll be lost. I'll be like, oh, there's that show. I've heard about it. I never seen it. Oh, there's this show. I never heard about it. But of course, obviously the big news was Shōgun, which I still have yet to watch, but it getting 18 Emmys, breaking the record there for the most amount of Emmys a show has earned, is quite impressive. So we'll do a quick recap on all those things. Also, I'm going to be checking my notifications throughout the day here because we're supposed to be getting a brand new trailer for Bong Joon-ho's latest movie, Mickey 17, that I've been really highly anticipating and waiting for. It's supposed to have come out this year, but it got delayed till next year for whatever reason. So we're supposed to be finally getting its first official trailer today, but there wasn't any clear-cut timing for when that was going to be released. So hopefully before the end of the show today, we'll get a nice little treat for that trailer. All right, let's dive, since there's a lot to do, let's dive into some of the trailer reactions. First one up, let's check out the last trailer, the final trailer for Transformers 1. Like I said, a lot of press have already had a chance to see it. They've done some fan screenings over the weekend. They're doing another fan screening tonight, I believe, or tomorrow night, before it's released this weekend. And word of mouth is it's really good. Some people are even saying it's probably one of the best Transformers movies we've ever gotten. That's a very high praise there. They say it's surprisingly darker than previously thought of. It's not as childish or kiddie as the other trailers have pointed it out or made it seem to be. So let's check out the final trailer for Transformers 1. I mean, it is something I'm definitely going to watch regardless, because I want to see for myself what this movie's about. But let's check out the final trailer. Why am I saying it that way? The final trailer for Transformers 1, featuring the voice performances of Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, and Scarlett Johansson, just to name a few. All right.
Where's Optimus Prime?
The filthy red and
Up
blue
your
body
ass.
gives off a corroded metallic stench.
Okay, corroded, that is too far.
Okay.
All right, well, see,
You have the power to make your
see
world
they
better.
added all the critic reviews in there.
But this fight is mine.
See, again,
Okay,
my
so it's a little
biggest
intense.
problem
Yeah.
is why
Just
are they
throw it
all
up.
fully color coordinated on
Is the time to
Cybertron?
stand together.
No, it's time to fight back.
Please don't do this.
It's funny hearing
You
Chris
need to
Hemsworth
move
as
out of my
Optimus.
way before I move you myself.
Oh, he's a tank. Oh, that's cool. Oh, your very typical one-shot action
All
sequence.
that counts is the strength of
Oh,
one
Starscream.
bot over another.
He's too strong.
This trailer definitely makes it feel more, make it feel more epic.
Until next time, legends.
Transformers, transform their bodies in the sky.
See, why does he look like a truck already? For me, that doesn't make any sense. But this was all right. All right, calm down, calm down. All right. So in this particular trailer, they're making it feel a lot more epic than the previous trailers. A lot of the trailers that we gotten before, I feel like they really focused a lot on the comedy, the quick one-liners, the little budding friendship between Megatron and Optimus. And again, we're getting a similar story trope here where two friends who once were really close all of a sudden become mortal enemies because of differences in beliefs and all that. The formation of the Autobots and the Decepticons and the battle between them two. So it is definitely a pure origin story. And like I said, I mean, you can't ignore the fact that there's so many people out there who already had a chance to see this, and they're saying it's really good. So I'm intrigued. You know, the trailer looks fine. It looks like another, one of those fun, entertaining, animated, CG animated type of movies. I'm sure if you're a major fan of Transformers, you're really excited for this. I'm mediocre right now, but it is something I'll be checking out. I think it comes out already this weekend. There's actually a handful of movies that I really want to check out this weekend, so I'm going to be behind a little bit because of my schedule and my activities and all that. But it is something I definitely want to check out, and if I have a chance to check it out this weekend, I will do so. And if not, guess I'll just have to wait till next week, and then you'll have to wait to hear my thoughts and review on Transformers 1. But yeah, color me intrigued, like I said before. All right, next trailer we're going to be checking out is for a brand new movie on Netflix called Woman of the Hour. It is coming out this October.
Oh my.
It stars, Anna Kendrick. I believe this is her directorial debut. Actually, yes, it is, according to the synopsis here. So this will be something interesting to check out. Here, according to the synopsis, Anna Kendrick stars in her directorial debut, Woman of the Hour, the stranger-than-fiction story of an aspiring actress in 1970s Los Angeles and a serial killer in the midst of a year-long murder spree, whose lives intersect when they're cast on an episode of The Dating Game. I had no idea that this was an actual story. Woman of the Hour debuts on Netflix on October 18th. All right, you go, Anna Kendrick. So let's check out this trailer for Woman of the Hour, shall we?
Oh my God, where are we? What is this place?
I did always say I think
I'm
Anna
auditioning
Kendrick should
in
play
a
like
week.
That's in the bag.
like
Oh
do
yeah, you
horror.
think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Because
I mean, you have this
she does
like Patty Smith vibration.
At
thing
times
going
have
on.
like psychotic
I'm
eyes,
talking
you know.
about soul.
Okay.
See, like right there, she looks a little crazy.
Sorry. I think that's good. That's good. I'm into that.
Uh-oh.
He came from the sunset.
Directorial debut, Anna Kendrick.
How do you feel right now?
Fine.
He came
Based on a shocking true story.
Excuse me, man. Can you give us another round? We'll have to get out of here then, huh? I'll walk with you.
Wait, they're doing a weird twist here where they're making the guy look like he's the killer.
You told me your number?
I just gave it to you.
Yeah, no, I know. I just want to make sure I have the right one.
Right. Just let me see it and
Can't repeat it from memory?
This is a big setup for a trailer. Nice shot. This is a really nice shot. As you see him like trailing behind there, not letting her go. Wait, that's all we got? Really? That's all you're giving us? Wow, that's not really a full trailer. That's a teaser. But it looks spooky. Now, again, this trailer in itself makes the story sound confusing in a way. Again, this is supposed to be an actress. Let's see. As an actress in the unless I'm misunderstanding the premise here. Aspiring actress, 1970s, Los Angeles, and a serial killer. So does she team up with a serial killer? I need to find out the true story behind all of this. So let me look this up. Dating game serial killer. All right. So let's see here. Rodney James Alcala was an American serial killer and S.O. I don't want to say it out loud because YouTube will definitely ding me on this. Who was sentenced in California for 5 murders committed between 1977 and 79. 2 further murders committed in New York. Indicted of murder in Wyoming. Alcala compiled a collection of more than 1,000 photographs of women, teenage girls, and boys, many in explicit poses. In 2016, he was charged with the 1977 murder of a woman identified in one of the photos. Blah, blah, blah. And others compared to 10. Alcala is often referred to as the dating game killer because of his 1978 appearance on the television show The Dating Game in the midst of his murder spree. Oh, that's so fascinating. But how is his relationship to the actress? I guess I should just watch the movie and find out. So it's not Anna Kendrick who is the serial killer, although I think that would have been a more interesting twist, honestly. And then she was on the dating game as one of the, like, as the person who's supposed to be selecting somebody. But I guess somehow there was maybe this actress shows up on the dating game and he happens to be there. And she's one of the victims, I guess. Or maybe what we just saw right now was something that happened after the show aired, right? Maybe that was their first date. I don't know. It's a very interesting premise. We've never seen Anna Kendrick in a directing role before, so I think this would be very interesting to see. It's intriguing. We didn't really get a lot here, but they did make it look like that guy was extremely scary and spooky, and Anna Kendrick was playing her, the victim here and all that. So I'm curious what more we're gonna see in this movie. But yeah. It's definitely a teaser, and I think it does look very interesting. So I'm curious what you guys will think about this when you have a chance to see this, or after seeing this reaction right now. Give me 1 second, just checking. All right, no Mickey 17 released yet. All right. Next trailer we're going to be checking out here is for a movie called Brothers. Now,
Ernie presents.
All right, calm down. The reason why this movie intrigued me is because it stars Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage. And the synopsis, it was kind of wacky and reminded me again of that movie Twins with Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. But here you go. The synopsis is: brother tells the story of a reformed criminal, Josh Brolin, whose attempt at going straight is derailed when he reunites with his sanity-testing twin brother, Peter Dinklage, on a cross-country road trip for the score of a lifetime. dodging bullets, the law, and an overbearing mother along the way. They must heal their severed family bond before they end up killing each other. So I don't know. That premise alone sounds extremely intriguing and exciting. So I'm definitely curious as to what this movie is really going to be about. So let's check out, as soon as this ad finishes playing, the trailer for the movie Brothers. It looks like it's going to be an Amazon movie here. So let's check this out. Brothers. Oh my God. Holy cow.
Where are my emeralds?
I wonder if he did his own stunt.
Making arrangements.
Oh, Brendan Fraser.
Some families have a long line of dentists or lawyers. We had a long line of felons. That's me. The big ugly one is my twin brother, Moke. I had the plans, he had the hands.
We just bought a house where we're having a kid.
Bro, come on. I am finished stealing shit. Let's do this one and split.
This actually looks like a great team up. I'm actually pretty excited for this.
1, 2,
Oh, it's the same director of Palm Springs?
We can go 2 out of 3 if you want.
Get on the floor.
I just feel like Wolfman would beat out Dracula.
Wolfman's once a month. Dracula is all the time. Use your head.
This is a new beginning.
Oh, wow.
We have some private time.
Oh, that's funny.
What's wrong with you?
Mom?
Oh, shit! He dented the car!
You were gone 30 years.
I can apologize only so much.
Man, there's a lot of big names in this
Apologized at all.
movie.
Why are you back now?
The emeralds, worth about $4 million. I got a plan. What it takes.
So the whole family are just a bunch of criminals.
Terrible plan.
Peter Dinklage, Josh Brolin, Glenn Close, Marissa Tomei, and Brendan Fraser. What a cast. And introducing Samuel. Oh no.
Oh. Okay.
He looks like the guy, he looks like the one from Planet of the Apes.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, it's from Ethan Coen? Hold on. I gotta see that. Wait a minute. Who's the director for this? Oh, story is, hold on. Let's look at it. So, story is by Ethan Coen. Screenplay is by it's Max Barbakow, who directed Palm Springs, which is a great movie. If especially if you were a fan of Groundhog Day, it's almost like a modern day Groundhog Day. That looks fun. It looks like it's an interesting mix of talent in this movie. And it's also interesting to see the chemistry between Brolin and Dinklage. But yeah, an amazing cast. I can't believe Glenn Close is in the movie. Marissa Tomei, Brendan Fraser. Yeah, this could be a potential hit for Amazon when it comes out. But we'll see. I wonder if it's going to get a theatrical release or if it's just going to be straight to Amazon. So I guess we'll see the closer we get to the release. But I'm intrigued. It looks fun to me. I don't know. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. We'll see what happens. But again, I'm curious what all of you think when you have a chance to see it. All right. Next trailer we got here is a movie starring Cillian Murphy, Small Things Like These. Let's see. Synopsis. Cillian Murphy delivers a stunning performance as devoted father Bill Furlong in this film based on the best-selling novel of the same name by Claire Keegan. While working as a coal merchant to support his family, he discovers disturbing secrets kept by the local convent, and uncovers truths of his own, forcing him to confront his past and the complicit silence of a small Irish town controlled by the Catholic Church. Interesting. So it's Cillian Murphy, Emily Watson, Michelle Fairley, and Eileen Walsh. Always a fan of Cillian Murphy. I always look forward to anything that he does. So let's see. I don't know anything about this movie. So let's check out this trailer for Small Things Like These. I don't know. I feel like this is like one of those like awards baity, Oscar baity type of films.
Hey, girls.
Hi, Dad.
Come on now, finish up your toast before it gets cold.
Oh, Ben Affleck and Matt. Whoa. Hold on a second. Wait, sorry. I usually don't like to interrupt the trailer, but look at who's involved in the producing of this. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. That's interesting. I didn't know they're in the business to produce movies like that. What's happening? Oh, he's forcing her daughter to become a nun. Wow.
I will live in the past, the present, and the future. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach.
So what is his role in this whole story?
I'd want to watch what you'd say about what's there. People can make things difficult for you.
Don't you ever question it?
Okay, interesting.
The Lord is compassion and love, slow to anger and rich in mercy.
Again, this is definitely one of those like artisan films.
No, don't be thinking you're
This is
in
not
any
going to be for
trouble.
everybody.
The Lord is
It's the type of
compassion.
movie you'll watch for the performances.
The Lord is compassion and love.
But it looks fascinating to me.
If you want to get on in this life, there are things you have to ignore.
Wow. When does this come out? November 8th? Yeah. I think with a movie like this, I feel like it's definitely one of those late in the year releases to be, included in the whole award season talk, Oscar season talk. Could this potentially put Cillian Murphy back on the map for a potential Oscar nomination again for next year? Who knows? It does look like a very interesting story. I don't necessarily know exactly what's happening here. But I guess it's one of those stories where, especially during a certain time, it looks like this place takes place in Europe. Religion is a very important thing for a lot of families. And, when you're like a blue collar worker, in this case, a coal miner, faith is something that is always a constant, right? And then when you find out that there's weird things happening with your local church or with a convent locally, it questions your faith, right? And I feel like a lot of these things happen, and those lead to like very interesting storylines. So yeah, so it looks very intriguing. Definitely a movie that's a little bit up my alley, but not for everybody, for sure. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. All right, next trailer is not for a movie, but it's for a series that I haven't even had a chance to see yet. So I'm hoping that this is not going to spoil anything for me, because I do still plan on watching it. But this is for a sequel or a second season of the Gremlins Mogwai animated show on Max. Let me just quickly read the quick synopsis here. Not much to say here. All they say is new adventure, new mystery, new danger, and this is going to premiere on October 3rd. So it's coming out really soon, and I had no idea that they were already doing a second season or a sequel to that originals series, because I haven't heard anyone talk about it. You know, it was one of those series that I remember when the trailers first came out, it looked intriguing and it looked exciting to get finally a new Gremlins storyline, albeit in animation form. But I think there's nothing wrong with that. The animation looks cute. It looks like we're going to be following the story of Gizmo before everything happened in the movies. So it looked like it was a prequel series. And I don't know what happened when it came out. I know some people watched it. Those who I know who've seen it liked it. But I didn't hear a lot of people talk about it, really, out of all things. So I thought it was just going to be one of those one and done series. But here we go. We have a sequel to it, or a season 2. But they're calling it a different name now. So I forgot what was the name of the first one. But here it is, a trailer for Gremlins The Wild Batch. Fingers crossed, I'm not going to get spoiled on anything, but who cares? Let's just check it out.
What is going on, Gizmo? We're not mad. We're just concerned that you might be going bad.
America is our species' chance for a new.
Oh my god, we have another smart gremlin.
We have to stop them before
the animation still looks fantastic.
Again?
Welcome to San Francisco.
Whoa.
Stick with me, kids.
Oh, I see. So are they coming to America now?
I've been having these dreams about my mom. Find me in America. I sound crazy.
Because the first one took place, I believe, in China.
Thing we've come across in a long time. We have to figure out what's going on here. That means running towards the scary stuff.
The chaos, the fear.
You know what this reminds me of? Oh, what the hell is that?
San Francisco.
This reminds me of that Jurassic World show on Netflix, that cartoon.
All around us.
Because it has some stuff that is like kitty, and then some spooky things. This has like a good mix of that. And that show on Netflix is really good.
Have what it takes.
I wish I could watch the rest of it.
I don't know. I've only been in America a week.
Oh, there's a nice take on the classic song, the theme song. It's cute. It's what it is. It's cute. It looks like it's going to be fun. If you love the first season or the first show, it's confusing. Why can't they just call it season 2 or whatever? But I guess they're treating it as books, maybe. So it's nice to see that they're still doing this. I hope the reception will be good. I guess now, yeah, the original one was called Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai that came out last year. So this year we're getting Gremlins The Wild Batch. So I don't know how many episodes it's going to be. Let me look that up real quick. Gremlins Wild Batch. Gremlins Wild Batch. How many episodes? Looks like it's going to have 10. No, this is wrong. So the first one had 10 episodes. Maybe this one's going to have like around 10 episodes too. There isn't anywhere online that states exactly how many episodes there are, unless I'm not seeing it right. Oh, here we go. Is this it? Story focuses on blah, 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 yeah. No, the 10, yeah. I would expect it to be like around 10 episodes. So that means I have 20 episodes to watch in order to really fully see this whole thing. But it looks cute. I have to say, it does look cute. Definitely something I'll be checking out. All right. Last trailer for today, unless we get the Mickey 17 one. Let me check my notifications again. Hold on. No. Okay, nothing yet. All right, so last trailer, at least for now, is again for this horror movie that I know nothing about. And the reason why I find it interesting is, well, there are two reasons here. One, it stars Shelley Duval, and this could be her very last thing that she's done before she passed away. And number two, it's the name. It's called The Forest Hills. And the reason why I find it fascinating is because, again, I'm from New York. I live in Queens. There is a neighborhood, very popular and well-known popular neighborhood called Forest Hills here in Queens. That's, Forest Hills was a place I used to hang out in all the time. Back in the day, I used to go to the comic book shops there. The main movie theater I used to go to is still there. It was a place you would go for entertainment in Queens. Restaurants, movies, shopping, all those things. And it's still kind of looked at that same way. But it's a little bit different from how it was before. But I do find it really, really interesting that there's this movie called The Forest Hills. Now, I know has probably nothing to do with the neighborhood, but this movie also has Edward Furlong in it too. And I haven't seen Edward Furlong act in a very long time. The synopsis here is: haunted by nightmares and dark secrets, Rico, played by Chico Mendes, descends into madness in the Catskill Mountains, fueled by fear and isolation, as well as struggling with strained relationship with Mama, played by Shelley Duval, R.I.P. Rico attempts to find solace in his friendship with Billy, Edward Furlong, in an attempt to fight his demons. So there you go. I'm not expecting this to be a great movie. I'm not even expecting this to be a good movie. But it's a movie. And this could be a candidate for a potential bad movie night or what have you. But here is the trailer, official final trailer for The Forest Hills. I find that name still really funny to me. Oh my God! It's a costume.
Now you all have to be very careful of the beasts out here. I'm not gonna tell you what kind they are, because every single time I tell the locals, they will just laugh at me like I'm some sort of clown.
What the hell is that?
And I know I'm not crazy.
Ew. All right.
There's
not crazy, he says.
Animalistic, non-human instinct only I can feel.
What is happening? It's like a bunch of cannibals and all that? The return of Shelley Duval.
I think right now we should start talking about making you as comfortable as possible. Make sure your quality of life is as good as it can be.
It's crazy how she looks so different now.
This
or when she's
gonna have to get me a casket. Do you remember I locked you and your sister in the car?
And her voice has changed
to get
so
help
much.
from my brother. I understand he was seen twice by 2 of our workers.
This just looks like a really wacky movie.
Rico! What did you do to me?
You're in deep
But she's definitely acting her ass off. Is that Edward? Oh, he's a lycanthrope? Oh, is he the main beast? Watch theforesthills.com. I wonder if everyone who lives in Forest Hills right now is getting pinged for some strange reasons. Like, why are people like asking me about this movie with Shelley Duval? It's a movie. It definitely is a movie. This is one of those movies that you would definitely find at Blockbuster on the same row with all the direct-to-video, the direct-to-DVD movies. You know, all the movies that you see Wesley Snipes in, or, well, when he was still acting, you would see also, what's his name? Oh my God. Well, anyway, Bruce Willis, sorry. You would see like a bunch of movies with Bruce Willis and Wesley Snipes, all the direct-to-DVD and video, Dolph Lundgren, all those things. This is definitely a movie you will find there. Nowadays with streaming, there's always going to be a section, whether you watch movies on iTunes or Amazon. I use Vudu. There's always a grouping of movies that are, you could so tell they are direct to streaming with the outlandish covers and cover art and all that. This is definitely going to be one of those movies. But it's nice to see at least there's something with Shelley Duval in it that I'm pretty sure this was the last thing she's done before she passed away. And it still surprises me how she changed so drastically in her later years in life. And she definitely is so much older. She sounds different. I'm pretty sure she was really smoking for real, because I think she did become like a chain smoker, which like led to the change in her voice. But yeah, it's kind of sad to see the transformation of her, but it is what it is. But there you have it. That is The Forest Hills. Is that a movie that I'm planning to watch? No. But if I have a chance to, maybe I'm bored one night or I'm in the mood to kind of punish myself for no reason, then yeah, I'll watch it. Why not? But if you're watching this on demand, I'm curious. Let me know what you guys think of all the trailers I just reacted to. Which movies based on the trailers we saw today are you excited for? Let me know in the comments below. Let me check to make sure we haven't gotten our Mickey 17 trailer released yet. No, nothing yet. So I may just have to do a separate video of that or check it out at another time. All right, let's get into the weekend box office breakdown here. Again, if you're familiar with the streams, every Monday, I always like to recap and review the weekend box office, all the numbers and all those things like that. It is Tuesday, but hey, I'm still going to do it anyway, whatever. But here we go. Let's talk about the weekend box office. And for this, enough time has passed. I am going to head. What am I saying? I think I'm drunk. I'm going to, just give me 1 second here. Again, also, if you're watching live, make sure you hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Anytime. All right, give me 1 second as I set things up here. I am now going live on vertical format as well. So I know there are a lot of people who prefer watching on vertical, which is perfectly fine. But I am now live on vertical. So if you happen to be, if your preference happens to be watching on, if you're watching on your phone and you prefer the vertical format, then check out the vertical format, or you could stay right here. But I am now live. So yeah, let's talk about the weekend box office numbers for this past weekend. Like I said, normally this is something that I review on Mondays, but since I wasn't able to stream on Monday, here, we're doing it today, and we're doing it live. Let me just adjust this here to make sure this looks good on vertical. I may as well just do it like that, or hold on. My phone is kind of weird because it tends to cut off the sides, but let me know if you're having a problem seeing my shared screen right now. All right, so obviously Beetlejuice is still #1 at the box office with 51.3 million pulled in over the weekend. I predicted it was going to have like a 60% drop off from the previous weekend. I was close, 54%, but still 51.3 million for a weekend that's after quote unquote summer is still really good. Domestically, overall, it's sitting at $190.7 million with an international intake of 76.5, bringing it to 267.2 million worldwide, which is definitely pretty damn good for this movie. I think it's definitely one of the better, more recent Tim Burton movies that are performing really well at the box office. And, you know, like I said, it's an entertaining movie. It was a good timing also because it was Friday the 13th, last Friday. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people were in the mood for something spooky or kind of like dark. So if they haven't seen Beetlejuice yet, I'm sure that was their opportunity to finally see it, right? And have a chance to watch it. In second is the movie that I find most intriguing, and that is Speak No Evil, starring James McAvoy. Now, if you watched the show on Friday, you know I really enjoyed this movie. Out of all the new movies I watched last week, this was my favorite. Especially since I saw the original, and I thought this enhanced the story of the original and gave it its own little spin. It changed the ending completely, but it is the performances of everyone but James McAvoy specifically that really made me enjoy this film a lot. And I think because of maybe that word of mouth of people who saw the movie, it's what led it to a pretty decent and impressive box office intake at 11.3 million domestically. I don't know if it had a chance to release internationally yet. Oh, it has 9.4 million international with a worldwide total of 20.8 million. And like I said earlier in the stream, this is impressive mainly because it's a Blumhouse picture. Blumhouse, they're known for keeping budgets tight, and they don't really spend a lot of money on their productions. The budget for this, I did research before I went live, was $15 million. So, you know, with the marketing and all those things like that, I think one more week and this movie will make its money back. But for a low-budgeted movie that is kind of like a thriller, horror type film, again, benefited from Friday the 13th, I think it would have benefited more possibly if this came out in October. But they took advantage of the early buzz and fever for October and Halloween, which is already happening now, believe it or not. I think it did pretty decently. And I think maybe, hopefully, more word of mouth is going to spread about how good this movie is and how good James McAvoy is. So I'm hoping it's still going to do really well for the next couple of weeks. Coming in third is Deadpool and Wolverine with 5.2 million domestically, 621.5 million domestically so far. Internationally still does much better, 681.5 million with an overall worldwide total of $1.3 billion. Still one of the major hits of the year. Now, there was a report that came out stating that this was going to be finally coming out on digital in October. However, all signs of those reports have been removed from the internet. I think Disney went out there and said, hey, you're not supposed to be saying all those things. So I don't know how true that is, but it looks like they are at least trying to give it the Inside Out 2 treatment, keeping it in theaters for as long as they can before they release it on digital and then eventually release it on the Disney Plus streaming service. And I think that is a brilliant move on their behalf because, again, look what happened with Inside Out 2. So it performed really well at the box office every week when it came out. Am I Racist? Another new movie that came out that I don't know anything about. Came in fourth place with $4.5 million. Again, I don't know anything about this movie, but that is a surprise there because, again, don't know anything about that. Reagan, the kind of biopic of Ronald Reagan before or leading to his presidency or his election. I believe this stars Dennis Quaid. 2.9 million domestically, 23.2 overall so far. I don't know if this had an international release. No, nothing yet. But, you know, we are in an election year. The political landscape is very hot, so to speak. So I'm not surprised that a movie like this will do really well at this time. The Killer's Game, the other new movie, the one that I said I had no interest in seeing, and apparently a lot of people had no interest in seeing it either. This stars Dave Bautista, Palm Clementieff, with a nice little Guardians of the Galaxy reunion, also starring Sofia Boutella. Came in sixth place, only opening with $2.6 million domestically. I don't know if this had a chance to come out internationally yet, nothing yet. But it also stars Terry Crews and Sir Ben Kingsley. I had a feeling this movie wasn't going to be great. I had no interest in it. And yeah, it looks like there were a lot of people out there that honestly had no interest in it either. I think Dave Bautista is one of the better actors of the WWE transition, those who transition from wrestling to acting. I think he is one of the better fit actors. I think he could do drama, action, all those things. I definitely want to see him do more drama. If you look at him now, he lost all of his muscle weight, which is crazy. Mainly because he said he was so tired of maintaining that kind of muscular wrestling build when he doesn't need to do it anymore. He's not trying to be like The Rock. He's not trying to be like John Cena. He definitely wants to do his own thing. I think he's trying to work on, for his next project, he wants to do a rom-com. So he's definitely really more interested in the acting field than maintaining that muscular build to probably go back to WWE, which he said he may do in the future, but right now that's not his focus. So I hope we could see him do more stuff in the future, but it's an unfortunate outing for him for one of his first leading roles, you know, especially in the acting genre, in the action genre, I should say. Coming in 7th is Alien Romulus, $2.3 million domestically, $101.2 million domestically overall. With an international, wow, this international box office, it doubles its domestic run, $229.6 million internationally, for a full total of $330 million worldwide. It's crazy how successful this movie is internationally. I wonder who's leading the charge here. And of course, it's China. China, $104.2 million. And coming in second is the UK. Not even that close. Look at that. The China box office is hungry for films, especially these type of genre films. They will totally support this. I'm pretty sure it helps that it does have an Asian actress in it too. But yeah, really big hit for Alien. And I think this is still the second best performing Alien movie in the franchise. I think Prometheus is still number 1, but I'm pretty sure it's close to catching up with it. Coming in at 8th is It Ends With Us. This is the Blake Lively rom drama about domestic abuse. Still doing really well, coming in 8th place with $2 million, $144.9 million domestically overall. Let's see, internationally, 180.6 with an overall worldwide box office total of $325.5 million. For a movie like this, I think that is a major accomplishment. So it's a really well done. Will we see its sequel? That's the big controversy right now. We won't know, or we don't know at all. So I guess we'll see. Time will tell if things can be settled and mended between Blake Lively and the director of the film. Coming in 9th place is The Forge, $2 million from this past weekend, 24.1 million domestically overall. I'm not very familiar with this. Along with its 10th place partner here, God's Not Dead, In God We Trust. It's a Fathom Events release. It is a faith-based kind of movie release. Fathom does this quite a bit, and I say this all the time. Anytime you have a special faith-based movie that is released maybe for a day or for a week only, it's going to do really well at the box office. 1.5 million over the weekend, 1.8 so far domestically. And then some honorable mentions outside of the top 10. You have in 11th, Despicable Me, Twisters in 12th, and another new release. I believe this was probably a one-day release for Dan Da Dan, First Encounter from GEEK, $1 million there. So yeah. Some other new releases that came out that didn't even make a dent. You have The Critic. My Old Ass. This stars Aubrey Plaza in this role. How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies. Faith of Angels. A lot of like independent, smaller movies coming out that didn't even make a dent or a mark in the top 10 there. So there you have it. That is the weekend box office. Now this week, you have Transformers 1 coming out, right? Beetlejuice is still doing strong at the box office. Let me just, hold on. Let's see. Let me just get a list of all the new movies coming out this week. So this is the weekend of the 20th, right? Is it the 20th? Yeah. So let's see here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah. So you have Transformers 1 coming out this weekend. You also have Wolves. That's a Brad Pitt, George Clooney movie, the Apple movie. That's also coming out this weekend. You have a movie called The Substance, starring Demi Moore, that's getting a lot of buzz right now because of her performance in it. Margaret Qualley is in it too, who is a very good up-and-coming actress there. She's already starred in a lot of major films in the last couple of years. So me personally, Transformers 1 and The Substance are movies I really want to check out if I have the chance to do so this weekend. Also, there's a new movie called His Three Daughters coming out on Netflix that sounds really interesting. That stars Natasha Lyonne, Elizabeth Olsen. That's also been getting some decent buzz around. So I'm definitely interested in checking those things out when I have a chance. But out of all of these movies, the only movies that are really going to be huge contenders at the box office is Transformers 1. So the way I see the box office playing out this weekend is I still think, I think Transformers 1 is going to claim the number one box office, number one this weekend. I think Transformers 1 is probably going to do around 30 to 40 million, maybe possibly at the high end $50 million this weekend. Beetlejuice is still going to drop because everyone who wanted to see it already saw it. So if it did 50 this past weekend, I think it's going to do like 35, maybe 30, maybe even on the low end 25. So I think Transformers 1 is going to squeeze in there, beat out Beetlejuice, because again, it's an animated movie. Families, children are going to want to see it. Old school Transformers fans are going to want to see it. So I think it has potential to do really good at the box office this weekend. So I see the top three being Transformers 1, Beetlejuice, and again, if word of mouth is still strong with this movie, Speak No Evil, rounding up the top three there. So that's my prediction. I think that's how things are going to happen. Time will tell. We'll see what happens after this weekend. And of course, when I do have a chance to talk about it, I will talk about it with all of you guys in the upcoming week. What's going on, Arnold? Nice to see you here. Well, thank you for saying hi, as always. Arnold is busy playing PUBG on his brand new gaming PC. So I hope you kick ass, dude. And I hope you do well. Again, if you're watching here live on any of the streams, whether it's horizontal or vertical, make sure you hit that like button, show some love, react, do all those nice things. Really, really would appreciate it there. All right. Now that we got the two main topics out of the way, let's dive into some news, shall we? Let's talk about some news, some of the big things that came up in the last week or two. There's a lot of interesting news bits to talk about, and especially with the Emmys that just happened this past weekend. So let's start off with talking about the Emmys, shall we? So, like I mentioned before, Emmys is not the type of award show that I usually watch every year because there's just too many programs, shows, whether it's on network television, streaming, what have you. I just don't have the time to watch a lot of those things. So most of the time, I'm just going to feel extremely lost. But there are some names of some shows that were highly, highly talked about. Shōgun was one of them. The Bear is another one. And of course, Baby Reindeer on Netflix, right? And they were like the biggest winners of this past weekend. So let's quickly recap everything that happened here on Dark Horizons. The 76th annual Emmy Awards have wrapped up with FX's Shōgun, The Bear, Hacks, and Baby Reindeer dominating the race. The first two also dominated the Creative Arts Awards last weekend. Shōgun took the top prize of Best Drama, along with wins for its lead actor and actress and direction, though missed out in supporting categories to The Crown and The Morning Show, while Slow Horses took a writing honor. On the comedy front, The Bear had 4 wins for male lead, supporting actors, and direction, but lost the top comedy series awards to Hacks, which also won for Best Actress and Writing. I believe that was like the major upset of that category was Hacks. I feel like Hacks has won in the last couple of years, based on my recollection. So I think a lot of people were expecting it to go to The Bear, or maybe even Only Murders in the Building, which was completely shut out. I feel like Only Murders in the Building is like the most talked about freaking show every time it comes out. It's heavily marketed. You hear all the outlets talking about it. but it didn't do a damn thing come Emmy time. So it was interesting to see that. On the limited series front, Baby Reindeer ruled with Best Limited Series Writing for a Limited Series and 2 acting awards, while Jodie Foster took Best Actress for True Detective Night Country, and another acting award went to Fargo. Ripley won for direction. Sadly, only Murders in the Building, Fallout, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Gilded Age, Abbott Elementary, Palm Royale, and Reservation Dogs all walked away empty-handed. Here's a full list of this year's winners and nominees. Also, for those of you who may be confused and like, where's House of the Dragon? It didn't qualify for this past Emmys. That's going to be for the next one. So that's when you're going to be. That's why that whole Emmys thing is so confusing, because of the cutoff times and all those things. It's a very confusing election process and award show. So, but I'm surprised personally. Again, only Murders in the Building. I've never watched it, but so many people talk about that show. Abbott Elementary, a very highly talked about comedy series, right? Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which was a surprise to me when I finally had a chance to see it earlier this year. I thought it was brilliant, and I'm glad that they're doing a second season of it. Fallout, one of the most talked about video game adaptations this year, didn't get anything. And I guess it comes to show you that when you hear the general populace talking about their favorite shows or the buzzing about this and that, that doesn't always necessarily mean that that is like the best show out there. There's so much competition right now. There's so many good programs and good shows. That's why it's so difficult for me to even catch up with all those things. I watched the first 3 episodes of Fallout. I thought it was pretty decent, but I never went back to it. Why? Because there was something there that didn't like fully hook me in to want to finish the whole season. I'm planning to, but there's just something there that I'm like, I'll come back to this later. And I feel like that happens to me with a lot of shows right now. So here's a recap again of the full list of winners. Best Drama went to Shōgun. Actress went to Anna Sawai of Shōgun, who I believe is the first Asian actress to win in this category. So big congratulations. Plus, she's also Japanese, which I'm always happy to see. And that goes along with the next category. Best Actor in a Drama goes to this long-standing, brilliant Japanese actor, Hiroyuki Sanada, who was like the token Japanese actor in a lot of movies and programs and all those things. So I'm so glad he is fully recognized finally for his performances, especially in Shōgun, which I still have to see, but I now have to, because there's just no excuse anymore to not want to watch this show. I believe he's also the first Japanese actor to win in this category too. Best Supporting Actress in a Drama went to Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown. That's her portrayal of Princess Diana, which I've heard nothing but good things about. Best Supporting Actor in a Drama went to Billy Crudup for The Morning Show. Best Comedy Series went to Hacks. Best Actress in a Comedy went to Jean Smart for Hacks. Again, I feel like she's been winning every year she's nominated. It's crazy. Best Actor in a Comedy goes to Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy went to Liza Colon-Zayas for The Bear. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy went to Eben Moss-Bacharach for The Bear. Best Limited or Anthology Series went to Baby Reindeer. Best Television Movie went to Quiz Lady. I believe that was the one with, is that with Awkwafina? I think Awkwafina was in that one. I believe that was either a Hulu or Amazon release. It looked interesting. I just never had a chance to see it yet. Best Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie went to Jodie Foster, True Detective Night Country. I heard she was brilliant on that series. Best Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie went to Richard Gadd, Baby Reindeer. Best Supporting Actress in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie went to Jessica Gunning, also for Baby Reindeer. Best Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie went to Lamorne Morris for Fargo. Best Reality Competition Program went to The Traitors, which is the first time RuPaul's Drag Race didn't win. They were the ones that won every year for the last God knows how many years now. So this is the first time that it was beat by a new show called The Traitors. Best Talk Series went to The Daily Show. Best Scripted Variety Series went to Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which is one of the inspirations for why I titled the show The Morning Afternoon. because I always thought this was brilliant. Last week tonight, meaning you're just recapping all the news from the last week in just one evening. The reason why I call it the morning afternoon is because I'm always trying to find that balance of when to stream so that enough people can see the show. So for some, it's the morning. For some, it's the afternoon. So it's like a combination of two. Plus, it's also a play on the morning after, which is the morning after the previous day or the previous week. There's a lot of thought that went into the titling of my program here. Anyway, best directing for a drama series went to Frederick E.O. Toye for Shōgun. Best directing for a comedy series went to Rami Youssef for The Bear. I didn't know Rami Youssef directed an episode of The Bear. Or did he direct the whole season? I had no idea about that. Best directing for a limited or anthology series or movie goes to Steven Zalen for Ripley. Best writing for a drama series went to Will Smith for Slow Horses, not to be confused with the actor Will Smith. Keep that in mind. It's a different Will Smith. Best writing for a comedy series went to Lucia Aniello, Paul W. Downs, and Jen Statsky for Hacks. Best writing for a limited or anthology series or movie went to Richard Gadd for Baby Reindeer. So there you go. So yeah, it was a huge, huge milestone for Shōgun, for Japanese and Asian performers. Shōgun got a total of 18 Emmys overall. Huge, huge show out for that series. Really, really well deserved from what I've heard. Also a big win for Disney. Because remember, Shōgun is a Hulu production, which is owned by Disney, right? Also, what is that? The Bear is FX. That is also owned by Disney. So Disney really, really cleaned up with HBO not showing a damn thing except for Hacks. And for Jodie Foster's win there for her program there. But HBO pretty much stumbled at the Emmys. But I think that will change with next year's Emmys because that's when you finally have the qualification of House of the Dragon and all those things like that. So I think Bob Iger is definitely extremely happy with all the results from this past Emmys. I'm hoping this just leads to more shows with really amazing storylines and not just reliance on crap and trash, right? Again, big snubs, only murders in the building, right? Everything that was named in the article I just read, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which I think has fantastic writing. But like I mentioned, it just goes to show you that there's just too much competition right now. There's too much competition on programming and shows and series that, it's going to be hard for future to come because there's just too much happening. And hopefully writing will keep on improving and getting better as the years go on. I'm hoping the movie industry can learn a little bit from this because it's all about storytelling. All right. Next topic here. Let's see. What's going to be something interesting to talk about? Oh, wow. So this is something. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me just double check something real quick. Did we get a Mickey 17 trailer drop yet? Anything yet? Anything yet? No. No, nothing yet. Okay. This news just dropped this morning. And it's interesting. And I don't know how I feel about this, but you can't hate John Cena for constantly progressing his career any chance he can. And John Cena is now set to star in Matchbox, based on the Mattel car toy line. Huh? Okay. But yeah, John Cena has signed on to star in Matchbox, a live-action take on the classic Mattel car toy line. Apple Original Films, oh boy, has snagged okay, I'll explain why I'll say oh boy, has snagged the mighty film package that hails from Skydance and Mattel Films. Sam Hargrave, the director behind the gritty Extraction movies, is on board to helm the feature. The project is coming in full throttle with a screenplay by David Coggeshall, who wrote action comedy The Family Plan for the streaming and tech giant, and Jonathan Troper, the author and scribe who wrote the Ryan Reynolds action-adventure feature, The Adam Project. Okay, that's not too bad. Matchbox is the toy brand first created in 1953. Yes, we all know. If you're familiar with Matchbox, you know, those are those little cars that you would buy. When I was growing up, at the pharmacy, there was a big Matchbox display box. And I think every row had at least 10 cars. And it had like at least 10 rows. And the way you would go about it is that you would say, Mom, I want to buy a car. Okay, which one do you want? And you point at, I want this one. And the guy will be behind the counter, get the little box out, and there you go. There's your new Matchbox, right? Nowadays, you find them at Target or Walmart. They come like in the backing with the little packaging and all that. It's no more like those like small like little mystery boxes that I used to love getting as a kid. If you know them, you know them, right? They're very similar to like Hot Wheels and all that, but yeah, Matchbox. Plot details are being kept under the hood. While Hollywood has tried for years to bring Hot Wheels to the big screen, this appears to be the first time Matchbox has been developed as a movie. Producing are Skydance's David Ellison, blah, 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 blah. Cena recently starred opposite Awkwafina in the action comedy Jackpot and is currently shooting season 2 of the Max original series Peacemaker based on DC heroes. He is also prepping to embark on his farewell WWE tour in 2025, which he made an announcement on one of the programs there. So yeah. What is this movie going to be about? I don't know. I mean, it's based off of a toy line of small cars that are replica of real cars, right? So what can maybe... Could this be basically, could they do like a parody comedy about maybe the creator of the Matchbox toy line, how he has a fascination of cars and how he came up with this brilliant idea of micro-sizing these cars and selling them as toys? I don't know. Could it be a guy who's like a extreme collector of Matchbox and he's trying to get the perfect collection and he goes out there on this crazy, wacky adventure to solidify the last remaining hard-to-get Matchbox from a pharmacy in Uganda? I don't know. Who knows? I just think it's a weird premise and a weird property to want to try to do a movie out of it. But it is Hollywood. Money talks. Things happen. I guess we'll see when more details come out. But yeah, that was something that was announced this morning that I thought was kind of hilarious. And I honestly... I didn't really understand why that would be a big deal or why that would even be something to want to do. Let's see what else will be interesting for today. Again, I hope you guys are having a good time. Please don't forget, hit that like button. Help support the stream there. And the reason why I also said that, oh boy, when it was a... When I was reading that article about the Matchbox movie, because it was an Apple Films production, is because Apple is finding themselves kind of in a tough spot right now, because all of the films that they put out in the theaters, maybe with the exception of Killers of the Flower Moon, have tanked, have done really poorly. And their most recent movie also did really well, right? Also didn't do really well. And there's speculation right now. Now, there hasn't been any like official confirmation from Apple themselves, but it looks like Apple is pulling back on cinema releases and maybe just focusing on releasing movies directly on their Apple platform. So an article that I came across kind of helps explain a lot of these things. Moon caused Apple's cinema pullback. So starting with Wolves, which again comes out this weekend. And as previously reported, Apple has pulled back on theatrical rollouts of its films. So aside from one or two event-worthy theatrical runs reserved for big-budget projects, Apple original films would only get a very limited theatrical run, followed by a release worldwide on the Apple TV Plus service. Budgets are also being limited. Apple has not revealed the cause of this shift in strategy, though may suspect it's due to the theatrical run failures of several titles in the past year, ranging from Napoleon to Argyle and the most recent Greg Berlanti's Fly Me to the Moon. Now, Deadline, who broke the news of the change of strategy in the first place, suggests much of the blame rests on Moon. The outlet indicates Apple Studio chiefs Jamie Elright and Jack Van Amberg buoyed by sky-high test screening scores and the star power of Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum, bet that the $100 million budgeted film would work in cinemas as summer counter-programming. Boy, were they wrong. It didn't. Rather spectacularly, the film scored mixed reviews and grossed just $20 million domestically and $42 million worldwide, ultimately costing Apple tens of millions of dollars. As a result, Elright and Amberg received the shrapnel from Apple Brass, who shifted the studio's strategy with Wolves, which hits the service September 27th. Apple isn't expected to try again with a wide theatrical release until the Brad Pitt-led F1 movie from Top Gun Maverick filmmaker Joseph Kosinski next year. So yeah, so like I said, when I heard the whole Matchbox news and it being tied with Apple Films, I'm like, wait a minute. I thought they were scaling back on stuff. You know, it's just so bizarre to see that. What's going on, Am I Dead? It's been a while since I've seen you. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Yeah, Amazon, Netflix, Apple. These are all platforms. These are all streaming platforms that all of a sudden decided they wanted to produce and make movies. Netflix was first one to do so with mixed results. Amazon was next to follow. And then, of course, Apple came in and did their own thing. And like I said, with some exceptions, like Killers of the Flower Moon and maybe Maestro for Netflix, there hasn't been a lot of major hits from these studios. They haven't found that right formula yet. And they think star power is going to lead things, but it doesn't for the most part. You know, again, with this Moon movie with Channing Tatum, Scarlett Johansson, you would think, oh, this is a cute little potential rom-com and all that. Rom-com doesn't really do well in theaters anymore. Yeah, again, there's some few exceptions out there. Fall Guy was supposed to be one of those major hits, but it ended up not doing as well as people were expecting. So I think with the pullback in strategy, it's smart, but you still see them spending a lot of money and budget on a lot of these properties, hoping they could potentially make them into IPs, franchises, universes, whatever. Matchbox, I don't see it happening, but we'll see. You know, there was a recent article, I don't have it here, that talked about the upcoming G.I. Joe Transformers movie. And right now it has no plot whatsoever. So what's the point? It's just to have the two come up and be on the big screen together. It's like, hey, we're together. All right, let's do something. What are we going to do? I don't know. Let's go watch a movie. You know, like who's writing the script for that? What's the thought process? What is the plan? What are they planning to do? There is no plan yet. You know, Marvel kind of proven that if you plan things in advance, you could make gold. Now, of course, they're doing things differently right now, but I think they're reeling things back and, you know, they're recalculating, they're recalibrating, right? And everyone has been trying to follow suit. But for the most part, a lot of these people don't have any plans at all. So they just said, hey, we got this and we got this. People want to see them together. Let's go. Ain't always going to work out, right? And again, you need something that hooks people in. You need a storyline. We talked about, again, about the Emmys, you know, intriguing storylines, good storylines lead to great shows. That also leads to great movies and movies that do really well in theaters. Great performances. It kind of goes hand in hand if you have a great story. So yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Apple, Amazon, Netflix, they're all still trying to figure things out, but they're also all trying to find their piece in the industry that will make them a bunch of money, which leads to this next article I wanted to read right now. And I don't know the whole article. I haven't had a chance to read the whole article, but I read a snippet of it. And I do have some concerns of the thought process behind this. But let's go. Box office. Revenge of the Franchises. This is on The Hollywood Reporter, and this came out September 13th. So not that long ago. With domestic box office at $5.4 billion so far, 2024 hasn't been too shabby. Even cineasts are thrilled. as the big IP swings are mostly working. See, now that already right there worries me, because the thought process behind this is, hey, look, all of these major IPs and franchises are working. Why don't we do more of this? No. You gotta do a deeper dive as to why these are working and why all that's happening. But let's read the article. Let's give the article the benefit of the doubt, and let's see what they have to say. Franchises are both the lifeblood and bane of Hollywood's existence. When everything clicks, a series can keep consumers intrigued for years, if not decades. James Bond, Batman, Star Wars, not so much these days. Mission Impossible, not so much with the last outing, but still pretty strong. Superman. We'll see what happens when Legacy comes out next year. But sooner or later, fatigue sets in and the complaints begin, i.e. what happened to originality. Well, that happens every year. We get that same kind of debate every single year, right? The 2024 summer box office was a rare exception. For the first time in recent memory, franchise no longer was a dirty word, says one top studio executive. Those big brands helped push year-to-date domestic grosses to more than $5.4 billion as of the weekend of September 6th to 8th, which is still down about 13% compared with a year earlier, but better than expectations for this point in 2024. I covered this same statistic previous streams ago when I said like there was a 13% drop from last year to this year. But when you think about the strikes that happened last year with the actors and directors, things that were pushed back because of the pandemic, and more things pushed back because of the strikes, with what we got this year, this is a pretty good year for movies in the theaters and for box office. So surprisingly good. A lot of people in the industry were expecting things to really start picking back up next year. So they were surprised to see it picking up earlier than expected. Still a long ways to go, but nothing too shabby this year. The reversal in fortune began after a rough May. And this is what I've said all the time. May was terrible. And May is usually kind of like the early onset of summer box office season. But it looks like things really picked up after Memorial Day weekend, which is the end of May leading into June. The Fall Guy, a potential franchise newbie, spin out at the box office, followed by the blowout of Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, which had followed the triumphant relaunch of the series with Mad Max Fury Road in 2015. The one bright spot of May was, it's going to say, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. There you go. Kingdom of the Planet, one of the numerous film properties Disney's film empire inherited after the large acquisition of Fox assets in 2019. Apes was a crucial test in the post-Disney merger, and it passed. The movie grossed nearly $400 million globally, enough to fulfill filmmaker Wes Ball's dream of a new trilogy. Alien Romulus, released in August, was another successful test of the 20th century Disney marriage. The pick had grossed north of $300 million globally, the second best showing of the franchise behind 2012's Prometheus, not adjusted for inflation, of course. The overall box office rebound began in early June with Sony's forequel Boys Ride or Die. The pick opened well ahead of expectations in a foreshadowing of better days to come. In mid-June, Inside Out 2 put Pixar back on the map with a record-shattering opening on the way to becoming the top-grossing animated film of all time. Ever. At $1.675 billion globally. That's an amazing feat for that movie. And the number 8 biggest film of all time, sandwiched between Spider-Man No Way Home, $1.926 billion, and Jurassic World, $1.672 billion. Paramount extended its Quiet Place franchise with Day One, $261 million, while Universal and Warner Brothers spun off Twisters with fresh starts to tune at $360 million. All right, so you have Inside Out 2, existing franchise, Bad Boys, Ride or Die, existing franchise. You have Quiet Place, existing franchise, Twisters, not really a franchise before. They're turning it into one now with the sequel. So that's really interesting to think about. Those are like the major movies that really did well. Plus you have your Alien, which is an existing franchise, and Apes, which is an existing franchise. So by that logic and sense, yeah, If I was someone looking at the analytics, I'll be like, oh my God, look at these franchises. They're doing so well right now. Let's keep the ball rolling. It's not that easy. I honestly don't think it's that easy. Quickly with the chat, Arnold is back. He loves PUBG so much. Heard the other day Salem Slot remake is coming out at the cinema in the UK, but not in the US. Is that true? Yes, that is true, because it is coming out directly on HBO Max, I believe, this year. I reacted to the trailer last week on it. It looks good, but it is direct to streaming. And I guess UK, because, you know, Max, HBO, they have different licensing deals, I think, with international markets. So maybe that's why they're deciding to release it in theaters in the UK. I'll be honest with you, I think if they wanted to release it in the United States in theatrically, I honestly don't think it will do well. I think it all depends also how much money they spent on this movie. If we find out that the budget for this is extremely huge, then I think it's their best interest not to release it theatrically, but I guess we'll see what happens. And that's just my opinion, but yes, that is true. Honestly, how do you find my design of I think your PC is beautiful, Arnold. Very beautiful. I need for you to take a picture with your computer and do a nice little selfie, and I want you kissing it and making out with it, because I think that would be very sexy. And I'm doing well, man. Everything's good. I'm just going to be very busy for the next couple of weeks. And my dad said, yeah, Stephen King Aid online he liked. He's seen a preview of it ages ago. Yeah, so like I said, based on the trailer alone, it looks great. It really does look good. I hope it's good. You know, trailers are meant to be intriguing and interesting, right? We don't know what the final product is going to be until we finally see it. But I think for the most part, they have something good here, but time will tell. But yeah, with the theatrical landscape right now and how tricky it can be, I don't know if it would be a good idea to put something out like that theatrically in the United States. But we'll see. I would assume, and I don't know what the release dates are, if it does well in the UK, maybe they could consider doing something again here in the United States. But we'll see. All right, back to the article here. Nearly every studio saw several summer releases overperform box office expectations across different ratings and genres throughout the rest of the summer, says box office analyst Comscore Paul Degarabara. I think that's how you pronounce that name. I don't know. Disney takes the headline with Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and Alien Romulus. Universal found success with Despicable Me 4 and Twisters. Paramount saw great returns from A Quiet Place Day 1 and recovered from an iffy opening weekend for If. Yeah, I think in time that did better, but still not as much as they were expecting. That was another big flop that was meant to be a major hit during the summer. To see that title leg out to 100 million plus, Sony Book ended the summer with hits like Bad Boys Ride or Die, which fell just short of 200 million domestic, and late summer hit It Ends With Us. I think that was a big surprise though for them. I don't think they were expecting a movie like that to do as well as it did. Speaking of Marvel Studios' Deadpool and Wolverine, it's a bomb for Kevin Feige's superhero studio. The film is the second biggest title of the year with more than 1.287. I think it's more than that, as I, kind of recapped in my box office section of the stream. Franchise's best, no matter how you slice and dice it. In the span of a few short months, Disney, the Hollywood studio designed more than any other to subsist on franchises, once again is dominating its rival after losing its #1 standing to Universal last year in a stunning fall from grace. Its movies accounted for $1.5 billion in summer domestic box office ticket sales, or a 42% share. Disney insiders are especially pleased about such titles as Apes and Aliens because those were properties that came from 20th Century Fox and were more difficult to pull off in terms of reviving older brands with less of a built-in crowd than, say, Deadpool, right? All right. Warner Brothers launched a rare September blockbuster as Tim Burton's Beetlejuice roared to $147 million globally after its September 6th debut. Next up, as a franchise test for the studio, the music-filled sequel Joker Folie à Deux, which bows on October 4, which I don't think. They're saying it's tracking for $70 million. I don't think it's going to go. It is. People are getting less and less excited for this movie. I think mostly it's because of its reception from the current film festivals that are happening, some early screenings for press. I don't think 70 million is a realistic goal for its opening weekend. I think it's going to do maybe 50 million, possibly 40 million on the low end. So we'll see. But I think buzz and excitement for that film is shrinking more and more the closer we get. We'll see. October 4th is right around the corner. So we'll see what happens. Real quick, back to the chat. Arnold, I'm watching the last game of the Vikings. Missed it at the weekend because of work. Oh, that's nice. It's how are you watching replays for NFL games over there, Arnold, in Germany? How do you do that? That's awesome that you're getting a chance to see all that stuff. All right. Blockbuster IP Buzzometer. A heat check on which franchises are underutilized, overexposed, or overdue to bring back to theaters. All right, this is the section here that I really, really wanted to talk about. Because, again, you're going to have a lot of analysts looking at all the numbers of the summer. And you're going to have, conversations, conference calls, sit-down meetings, all those things about, okay, what do we need to do? What do we need to revitalize? What's kind of been lingering? What should we do? Which I think is a major mistake, because not everything needs to be franchised and not everything needs to be brought back. Look what happened to The Crow. That franchise has been dead for years. They should have never went back to that well. And look what happened at the box office. It got murdered. No pun intended. It just got completely trounced. And I didn't think it was that bad of a movie. It's not great, but there were so many mistakes made with that movie and the way they marketed it too. I think there's so many lessons to be learned from that, but they're not going to learn lessons. So let's see what the buzz is as far as what people should be looking at or studios should be looking to revitalize in the future there. Arnold saying I have the NFL pass on Days In. Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. I know that streaming platform. That's a great way to watch a lot of sports. So that's cool. All right, Star Trek. Since 2016, Star Trek Beyond underwhelmed with 343.5 million globally. Paramount has developed at least 4 new takes, but made none. Why not mitigate risk and focus on the melodrama like the modestly budgeted Wrath of Khan from 1982? So this is definitely a franchise that I agree. This needs to come back somehow. Paramount has spent a lot of time on this franchise on their Paramount Plus service, with all the different shows coming out, the Picard series, the Lower Deck series, and it's all mixed. As far as some people love this, some people love that, some people hate this, some people can't stand that. Varied success with their series on Paramount Plus. But what I will say is when J.J. Abrams was doing the Star Trek movies, I found those movies to be the quintessential blockbuster sci-fi movies that the theater needs. You need that movie-going experience when you go to the theater and all that. Now, the last one wasn't so great in the trilogy that we got. And the second one is also kind of questionable. But the first one, there was something special about it that I really loved. And it just had everything working really well for it. So I do agree. Paramount needs to figure something else or figure something out with Star Trek, because now's the time to strike, because Star Wars is suffering. Star Wars can't seem to figure out what they want to do. Their focus on Disney Plus is 50-50, medium at best, and they haven't done a movie in a very long time. Yes, they have movies in the works, but we don't even know how well they're going to do when they finally are said and done and they release. So if somehow Paramount can get ahead of the game, being 2 steps ahead, then I think they can definitely win over Star Wars and do something that is interesting and that will bring the fan base back to theaters to watch a Star Trek movie. So I do agree. This is something that should be fully focused on, 1000%. Terminator. Not even the return of James Cameron and Linda Hamilton could save 2019's Dark Fate. But the new Netflix anime, Terminator Zero, which I haven't seen yet, but I heard so many good things about, suggests another movie could work, as long as you do something new with it. Terminator, dead franchise. I hate to say it. I love the first 2 Terminator movies, but they have not been able to figure out the formula for movies ever since T2. I think at this point, if James Cameron is not directing it, don't do it. If the anime works, then why don't you focus on animated movies that you could watch on Netflix, maybe direct to streaming type movies that you watch, or do a series on Netflix or some other streaming platform. But as far as movies are concerned, the Terminator franchise is dead. No one gives a shit anymore. And no one has been able to do it well at all. Zero. I've not enjoyed any other Terminator movie that came out after T2. I think I've been very disappointed with a lot of those movies. So yeah, I think unless you have James Cameron back, which I can't see happening because he's still so focused on his Blue People movies with Avatar and all that, and he already signed up on a new thing. I have it right here. Hold on. His next project after Avatar, he already signed up for. And that is Ghost of Hiroshima. So when he's done with the Avatar movies, this is the next project he's going to be working on. So I don't think he has time to do any more Terminator movies moving forward. So I said, leave it alone. I don't think it's even worth the time right now. Reign of Fire. Sure, the 2002 movie starring Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey bombed, but it grew a cult following. Bring the actors back, and it's The Last of Us meets Game of Thrones in this post-apocalyptic dragon tale. I've never seen it. I know of it. I don't think you should do it. Leave it alone. You know, people are getting their fill of dragons with House of the Dragon right now. Unless you can really get a good writer and a good director behind it. Would Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey want to go back to a movie they did back in 2002? Probably not. So I don't think this is a potential franchise here. I think this is kind of silly for them to mention this. I don't see it working at all. No. So I will nix this idea and leave it alone. Oh boy, here we go. Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates was at the bottom of the sea even before the last entry, 2017's Dead Men Tell No Tales. This one would need to be restarted from scratch, but audiences do love a seafaring adventure. I do agree with that to a certain extent. What made Pirates of the Caribbean so good was Johnny Depp's performance as Jack Sparrow. After the huge success of the first movie, all people really wanted to see was more Jack Sparrow. And Jack Sparrow, who was really supposed to be a side character. You got to remember, the main character here was Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley. Those were supposedly the two main characters of the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Johnny Depp stole the whole show. And ever since, they've been trying to redo the formula, and every movie was centered and catered to Jack Sparrow. It became so popular that now they have Sparrow, Johnny Depp's version, at the rides, at any Disney you go to. You see Jack Sparrow, he's there, he's doing his little drunken thing, and like, oh, la, 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 la. He's there. People love him. So I think if you were to bring Pirates back, and you don't have a Jack Sparrow in it, and you don't have a Johnny Depp in it, I don't see it working. Yes, people do love their pirate tales and their pirate adventures and good old swashbuckling and stuff. How about just don't do pirates? How about start a new franchise? Write a new storyline that you don't necessarily have people thinking, oh, Pirates of the Caribbean, where's Jack Sparrow? Right? That's going to be very difficult for a lot of people to get over. So I think Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, over. Start a new one. Start it from scratch. Disney can do it. You know, just call it something else. You know, and then if you want to say that it's inspired by Pirates of the Caribbean, so be it. But I think Pirates done as a franchise. Colonels, what's going on, yo? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great weekend. And I hope your week is starting off really well. Arnold saying for 100 million, Johnny does everything. Well, I don't know. I also don't think Johnny wants to come back to Hollywood. I think Johnny is done with the Hollywood scene. He lives in Europe. He's working with a lot of European directors nowadays and European productions. So I see him sticking to probably like international foreign films. And if that's where he wants to go, I'm more than happy for him for that. He has a lot of money, hopefully, still. You know, he has a lot of endorsements. He does, you know, I think he still does that cologne. You know, he's still like a spokesperson for that cologne of his, Solange or whatever it is, right? So I think he's okay. I think at this stage of his life, Depp doesn't need Hollywood anymore. You know, does Hollywood need Depp? That's the bigger question. We'll see. Next one, Conan the Barbarian. Arnold Schwarzenegger long has talked about making an old man Conan movie. Could this be the Logan of the franchise? Yes, 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 1000% yes. I think for the longest time, we would have wanted to see Conan as an older barbarian. You know, maybe still kicking ass. You know, if it worked for Logan, I could see it totally working for Conan, man. We haven't gotten a Conan movie, what, since the 80s? Maybe 90s, right? We've got nothing. Well, we got that Conan movie with Jason Momoa that was really terrible. I fell asleep during that movie. That movie was awful, god awful. You know, but that was the only time we ever got another Conan movie. Bring back Arnold. He's old enough now. I don't expect him to do crazy stuff, but he doesn't have to. But I can totally see him come back as Conan, old man Conan. You know, maybe team him up with somebody else that could potentially take over the reins of King, right? You know, maybe he gets to finally confront Crom. You know, damn you, Crom. I could see this happening. I think a lot of people would love to see this, you know, work out. You know, this could be a lot of fun. And call me crazy, but don't make it a long franchise. One and done movie. King Conan. That's it. One movie, said and done. Leave it alone. Colonel saying, I agree with you. He's fed up. The divorce really showed him to his friends who his friends are. And exactly, yeah. So I think right now, he's done with Hollywood. That's why he'll never come back. Sauvage Cologne. That's the name of it. Okay, I'll be back. Conan the Librarian. Who made fun of, was that In Living Color, or which skit was that from? Conan the Destroyer. You like that sequel? Conan the Destroyer. Was that the second one? Because you had Conan the Barbarian and then you had Conan the Destroyer. I have the box set too, which is a really nice box set too. I thought it was all right. What is Nightbot? It's just ignore Nightbot. Nightbot is just another bot of the channel, along with the Geek Bot, who likes to read out super chats at $2 a pop. So yeah, don't worry about that. What did you think I was going for? Stop spamming emotes. Ooh, I didn't know Nightbot was like flagging you for that. Wow, that's crazy. You know what? Let me change that. I apologize, Arnold. That's a little silly. Let me fix that. Hold on. Nightbot is just one of those programs that helps with unsolicited comments and things like that. So I guess it's a little bit too protective. So let me see if I could fix that right now. I do apologize. Let's see. Spam protection. Excess emotes. I'm going to disable that. All right. That should be fine. All right. All right. I do apologize, Arnold. I told Nightbot, you better behave. You better behave. Colonels, my Discord is not running yet. I'm sure you've missed the latest news and updates from my side of things. I've been so busy. I just moved my mom to another state. I'm in the process of moving myself. This week, I am helping a friend out at Baltimore Comic-Con for his business. And for the next 2-3 weeks, I'm covering New York Film Festival. So I just had no time for anything outside of an occasional stream here and there. So the earliest time I could see myself getting the Discord up and ready is probably November, December at this point. So, but I will let you guys know what's happening. And my dad just said, yes, second one, don't know why they didn't do a third. Then again, Arnold was really busy in the 80s. Yeah, I think the reason why a third one didn't happen, well, they did Red Sonja, which didn't do well at all. So I think with all the stuff that Arnold was attached to in the 80s and 90s, they just couldn't find a time for him to do it. So yeah, I'm not surprised in the least that they didn't do a third yet in the Arnold franchise. Colonels, I'm just moving next door. That's just basically it. So it's not that big of a deal, but my mom used to live next door, so I'm just taking over her spot. Yeah. But there's just so much, like, not just the moving part, but there's also there's just so much like logistics behind it all. So yeah. So at least the move for me won't be so hard, unlike the move of my mom, which was very stressful emotionally and physically and all that. So, and I still have more stuff to bring to her in the next couple of weeks. So Arnold, you like my shirt collection? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's move on to the next property here. Spawn. Oof. Atoning for your sins and fighting through hell to get to the love of your life are evergreen concepts. The Hard R movie at Blumhouse has been in development since 2017. What's taking so long? Todd McFarlane, from what I hear, is impossible to work with. Plus, he usually doesn't have any idea of what he really wants to do. And he's also too protective and controlling of his own property. And the first movie, although it was like a nice campy, I'm sure it has its fans, kind of movie that came out, it wasn't that great. It wasn't really that great at all. So I don't think you have people clamoring for Spawn these days. Plus, Spawn is not like a very popular comic anymore. It had its time in the 90s, maybe even 2000s, but it's over. It's over. No one cares about Spawn anymore, unless you're a diehard comic book collector or you're just a fan of the series itself. HBO had an amazing cartoon series that was adult themed, R-rated, and it was brilliant. Really brilliant. Well done. And a first of its kind in animation. Then you had your John Leguizamo movie, and it was bleh, right? Wasn't that great at all. I remember watching it in the theater being extremely, extremely disappointed. And I wanted to walk out, but I always tell myself, never walk out of movies, give the movie its full respect. But I was just like, what the fuck am I watching? It's terrible. Spawn's dead. Dead franchise. Don't do it. Leave it alone. Vikings defeat the 49ers. Oh no. I so do not follow NFL anymore. So surprising, I guess. I don't know. I don't know who's good anymore. I'm excited. Basketball season's coming soon, though. I am excited for that. All right, next one. Lethal Weapon. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover really are, in the words of Roger Murtaugh, getting too old for this shit. And don't make them have kids, and don't recast. Just create a new cop action franchise, okay? No. Lethal Weapon is done. Lethal Weapon was done with the 4th installment. They don't need to do it. Didn't they just try to do a Lethal Weapon TV series? Yeah, what happened with that? Didn't work, right? I do agree, though. Create a new storyline that's similar. They don't have to be called Roger Murtaugh. They don't have to be called whatever Gibson's name was, right? Do a new storyline that is like based off of this, maybe similar. See if that lands. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But Lethal Weapon franchise is over. Said and done. Had its moment in the sun. That's it. We're done. Bye-bye. No more Lethal Weapon is needed at all. Do you know what's cool during a Popeye movie? Is that a play on a pun? Or are you saying they should do a Popeye movie? If you're saying they should do a Popeye movie, it's going to be difficult because Popeye is not currently in the lexicon of pop culture. People who know Popeye are people like you and I. We remember it from our childhoods. We grew up with it, right? It's one of those things from back then that have not got any kind of retelling, remake, revitalization, nothing, right? We haven't seen a new cartoon come out in a very long time, nothing. So that would be very difficult. But at the end of the day, we always still have the Robin Williams Popeye movie, which, you know, even though I will admit it's not a fantastic, fantastic movie, I still love it. I still love it. Halloween. Oh, Halloween. An unstoppable masked killer is a primal modern fear. Kudos to recent trilogy director David Gordon Green for making Michael Myers scary again. But after nearly 50 years, the first movie came out in 1978, isn't it time for something new? No. We don't need anything new from this anymore. How many more times are you going to retell the same story over and over again? How many times are we going to see Michael Myers die, get up, die, get up? You know, I don't think we need this anymore. There could be so many other new stories you can tell. Halloween, and I know Halloween is a beloved franchise. I get it. People love their Halloweens. But even with the last trilogy that we got, yes, there were some good things, and then there were a lot of bad things. Leave it alone. You know, take a break. It would take them a lot of guts to put this on the shelf for 10 years and then maybe come back to it after 15 years and say, hey, you remember this crazy hit from the 70s, now back again on the big screen, Halloween, you know, Michael Myers returns and whatever. But right now, it's just too much. It's too much. Same thing with like Friday the 13th. I really hope they can get that Camp Crystal Lake show from A24. I think it's A24 or it's Blumhouse. I forget who it is. I hope they can get that out the door and going, because I think that would be a lot of fun to watch. I think just seeing an everyday scenario of Camp Crystal Lake, I think that could be intriguing in a way. And then maybe you could give Halloween a similar treatment. You know, maybe have it so that he's in the mental institute and you are dealing with the psychiatrist, or you're dealing with the Dr. Loomis and he's having everyday conversations. Kind of like what's that HBO show? Is it The Mentalist or something? Or that show with Tim Roth, where it's just like him talking to like prisoners or mental patients like in every episode. Have something like that, you know, do something different. But I think right now for movie franchises, I think we don't need a new Halloween. I think Halloween should be just, we got what we got, give it a rest, maybe potentially come back to it in the next 10 years and then see what happens. So have I thought about streaming for Halloween? I've done it before in the past. Yeah, I've streamed, the last time I streamed during Halloween was maybe 2 years ago. I might do it again today. We'll see. What's going on, Joker? Sad. A24 is a trash company. Most of their movies are mid. I don't agree with that. I don't agree. Why do you think so? Maybe their movies are just not for you. But I totally disagree with that. There's so many A24 movies that are so well done, directed, written, performed in. And plus, you know, they're very smart with their budgets. They don't go crazy like other studios do. I totally disagree with that sentiment, but you know, I'm curious why you think so. All right, next franchise, The Matrix. Matrix is celebrating its, I think, 25th anniversary or 30th anniversary, some anniversary coming up. But The Matrix, the original, was one of the most influential blockbusters of all time. Ever since, it has faced diminishing returns, and even the 2021 legacy sequel, Resurrections, which brought the gang back together, failed to resonate. Please do not plug this back in. I agree. The Matrix should be left alone. I think we had our time with The Matrix. It was, I will never discount it for what it's done for sci-fi, what it's done for pop culture and all those things. Movie making, the achievements and accomplishments they have done for movie making and filmmaking, special effects. But story-wise, it's been nothing but downhill since the original one. I remember rewatching those a couple years ago, and you see things in a different lens when you get older, and I'm like, wow, these movies are just not good. Why was I a major champion for these movies back in the day? But they're not that great. And Resurrections, what a hot mess that was. I was just so disappointed with that movie. And it's sad to see your heroes get old, and I wasn't able to see Neo being Neo. Neo was just not being Neo, and that was just really disappointing. It was just watching like an older John Wick trying to do Neo moves. It was just so bad. Arnold saying, it's so funny. I've been here for so long now. It's nothing special anymore that I'm before. Hey, Arnold, isn't there? Now it's just self-evident that I'm in the live. I love it. Well, I'm glad you love being part of the live show there, Arnold. Really appreciate it. You're definitely one of the legends of the stream, and I appreciate you for it. All right, next. Oh, here we go. The aforementioned The Crow. Listen, Crow license holders, you've tried and tried and tried to make this happen for years with sequels and direct-to-home movies, and this new version, time to clip these wings. I agree. The Crow, I've said it before. You heard me say it when I was reviewing the Crow movie. This is a dead franchise. There's no reason to come back to it. I think you should just leave this alone. It had its time. The original will always be a classic in my mind. It's still my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I stand by this. The new Crow movie is not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. There's some things they did in it that I appreciated. Some interesting twists and takes here. The performances were mostly okay, but the big mistake was naming them Eric Draven and Shelly. If you gave them different names, it wouldn't have mattered, and it would have gotten so much backlash. But biggest mistake is bringing it back. The Crow was dead a long time ago, and this movie was DOA. I think if you ever wanted to do another Crow anything, take a page out of Terminator and make an anime series. Do an animated show, an adult-themed animated show of The Crow, and make it a exact telling of the comic books. If you could do a one-to-one adaptation from comic to animation, I think that could be a potential big hit there. Release it on Netflix? Oh, forget it. You're gonna have a lot of people fall in love with that, and I think that's the best way to approach that franchise. Otherwise, sorry, Lionsgate, leave it alone. It's dead. It's done. And that's it. That's all she wrote, folks. So yeah, very interesting article. I really wanted to talk about that. I think a lot of interesting takes and ideas came from that. But at the end of the day, the biggest fear here is studios putting too much focus on franchise and properties. There's a lot of good storytelling around. We just saw it with the Emmys. A lot of shows getting a lot of recognition for storytelling. And yeah, even though the big winner is a remake of something that came out way back in the day, still, it was a fresher take on this. We haven't seen a take on it in years, decades. And they spent a lot of time in writing the story, making sure everything was all buttoned up, and got great performers in the roles that they were supposed to be. And it became a brilliant show. 18 Emmys. It's amazing. What can we do to transfer that to movies and make sure that the movies you put out are the movies that people want to see? And when they do see it, they're like, wow, that movie was fantastic. I got to tell my friend to see this. I got to say this about that and all that. Because what we saw this summer, you had a lot of decent franchise movies that came out. But a lot of them that did extremely well was because they were actually written pretty good. They had good writing behind it and good performances behind it. It's not because of the name, because look, Twisters was never meant to be a franchise. it's just a sequel to an old movie, right? But are they going to try to make it a franchise now? I hope not. You know, Planet of the Apes. I mean, if the story wasn't well written, that movie wouldn't have done so well. You know, The Fall Guy I thought was written well. It didn't do well. Furiosa. Okay, maybe no one asked for a prequel to Mad Max. Maybe people didn't believe that Anya Taylor-Joy can be in a Mad Max movie. But it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. Plus, you have to think about George Miller is in his 90s and he's still directing movies like this. It's freaking fantastic for what we got. I've seen people in their 20s doing worse movies than that. So I'm just afraid that we're going to get to a point where movies that come out are just going to be nothing but properties, franchise. Right? You know it's going to happen. And every summer, we're going to see it more and more. I'm just hoping overall, it's not going to take over the landscape of Hollywood movie making. There's still a lot of individual movies that are very well done that deserves a lot of attention. And let's have something for everybody, huh? How about that? Yes, summer should be the time for summer blockbusters, big action, budgeted craziness. I'm cool with that. Let's do that. That's perfectly fine. But for the rest of the year, let's have some great stuff. You know, we'll see what happens. Because out of all these movies that did really well during the summer, what I would say would be in my top 5 for the year so far, I would probably give it to Planet of the Apes and maybe Alien Romulus. But that's just me just spitballing right now, not really sitting down and looking at all the movies I've seen so far this year, which I believe at this present time, if I look at my Letterboxd, I've seen 90 movies this year, mostly at the theater. So I need to recap everything and really give you a definitive, these are my top 5 of the year. So yeah, so I'm curious what you guys think about this article, what you guys thought about the conversation. Definitely let me know in the comments about everything here. Arnold, if there's a movie where you'd want a sequel, what movie would that be? A movie that I would love a sequel to. That's hard. It's kind of hard for me to kind of think right now with all the movies that I've seen. Nothing that really screams at me right now as far as like I would love to see a continuation of this. You know what? Let me quickly look on my Letterboxd, because you know one of the issues with getting old too is that you really forget things easily. But let's see. Out of let's say just say for example, out of everything that I've seen this year so far, so far, none of these movies that I've seen this year I would want a sequel for. You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to Ex Machina. I want to see what happens when she goes out into the public. If you actually remember that movie, I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to that. Let's see. I'm just looking again out of all my movies I've seen this year. Let's get a sequel to Madam Web. Of course, I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's not, oh, you know what? I wouldn't mind, but I think a lot of people would say like a movie like Civil War is the kind of sequel to this movie. But Leave the World Behind, that movie on Netflix, I think the way it ended, it would be really interesting to see a sequel to that. But Civil War kind of shows what could happen after something like that happens. So I think that would be interesting to see. But yeah, there aren't really a lot of like major movies that I've seen that I would like. I'm asking for a sequel to. Yeah, Star Trek. I kind of like that franchise, so I wish I saw another Chris Pine Star Trek movie. You know, I think that would be very interesting to see. You want a new Men in Black with Will Smith? You know, especially in his age right now, you'd want to see that. I don't know. I guess he could be like he could kind of be like the older representation, right? Of just like how in the first Men in Black we had Tommy Lee Jones as like the older representation that kind of welcomes in the new guy or the new girl, right? So I could kind of see that. I guess right now, you know, another sequel, we just talked about it, Conan. I think it's a missed opportunity that we have not gotten an old King Conan movie with an older Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think that would be fantastic. That would be something that I would love to see. Especially if done right. Oh, that would be a lot of fun. That would be a fun movie. All right, let me check my notifications one last time here. Let's see. I just want to make sure if the Mickey 17 trailer didn't drop yet. I guess the best way to check will be to go on the YouTubes. Hello, YouTubes. Any trailer for me? Hello, YouTubes. YouTubes. No, nothing. Nothing. All right, well, whenever that Mickey 17 trailer drops, I will definitely do my best to react to it. And I'll probably upload a separate video on it. Or I'll give you my thoughts on it because that is something that I have been really looking forward to. And I can't wait to see what that movie is going to be like. Arnold says, I don't want a new Godzilla. Keep the money and do something better. If they do a new Godzilla based off of Godzilla -1, yes, I do want to see that. But any of the new Kong Godzilla movies, the Americanized ones, I'm so tired of those movies. I know they do well, and I know a lot of people love those movies, but I'm so sick and tired of those movies. Those movies are awful. Like the last one was just so ridiculous. It was just so silly. If anything, it made me laugh. So I guess in a way it entertained me, but it was just so, it was very nonsensical. Yeah. And again, that's just my opinion. If you love those movies, then I'm happy for you. I'm happy. And for your sake, I hope they continue making those movies. But I couldn't care less. Those movies are just awful. What do I think about a new Harry Potter? I think that could work. I think, and I don't know, I thought they were working on this, but I thought they were working on an adaptation of the play that it tells the story of the son or the kid of Harry Potter, right? And his time in Hogwarts. I think moving the story further along, not going backwards, but moving the story further forward would be a good place to start with a new movie franchise for Harry Potter. I know Warner Brothers is desperate to revitalize that franchise because it's such a big money maker for them. So I think that's the best route, and I think that could work. The rumors I heard was that they were going to do a remake of the entire Harry Potter series with a new cast and all that. I think that is a major mistake. Unless they decide to do a Harry Potter TV show, like a streaming show. That way, a lot of stuff that was omitted from the books can now be explored in more finer detail. Now, if they did something like that, that could be intriguing. Start fresh, have it go multiple seasons. But if you're doing a movie franchise, I wouldn't want them at all to redo the Harry Potter we got already. If they are going to bring it back, the best way to do so will be to move the story forward and take it in the point of view of the son or the daughter. I don't know what their kids are. I don't remember who him and Jenny had, what kids they had. But the Broadway play, I thought, was supposed to be that type of story. You know, you already have the groundwork on it. You know, you could just expand on it when you make a movie. And you can make it 2 parts, just like how the play is 2 parts, and take it from there. So I think that would be a good idea. Will they do it? I guess time will tell. We don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to be on for like another 5 more minutes. So if you want to talk about anything else, let me know in the chatty. There are other storylines I would love to talk about, but I'm trying to keep these streams shorter because I think the longer we go, the less engagement and the less views we get. So I'm going to be leaving. But next time, I definitely want to talk about this new Star Wars news about, it looks like they're keeping Star Wars series to only 1 a year. And I'm sure that's a big mandate from Bob Iger. And yeah, just some interesting stuff to talk about. But the bigger topics, I think we were able to really discuss today, and I was pretty happy with. Harry Potter in 2025, instead of a magic wand, he has an AK-47. Oh my God, you're going really dark with this one. Post-apocalyptic Harry Potter. Harry Potter's back. This time he means business. Bippity boppity bang. Harry Potter Raw Deal. Coming soon to a theater near you. All right, y'all. Quick reminder. I know there are 2 major shows launching this week. You have Agatha All Along coming out on Wednesday. And then you have the Penguin series starting this Thursday. Now, Wednesday, I'm going to be at New York Film Festival, so I'm probably not going to have a chance to watch the show until later on that night, or maybe possibly even the next day. And Thursday, I'm driving to Baltimore. So I plan to post videos, 2 separate videos reviewing Agatha and Penguin. And I am aiming to upload them on Friday. So do me a big favor. When you see those videos uploaded, make sure to check them out. If you like them, hit the like button. If you don't, well, sorry. I did my best. But again, all your support is greatly appreciated and all that. So, and again, to prepare for New York Film Festival, I'll be working on 2 videos that will be highlighting my most anticipated movies at the festival coming up this year, and some highlights of the movies that I saw last year, and talk about, you know, what they did and where they were in the year after, like how well they were received and all that. Again, if you want to see my vlogs of my time at Baltimore or my vlog at my time at New York Film Festival, best way to do so is become a member of the channel, just $1 a month. I'll be posting my vlogs there of my experiences. But eventually on the channel, I will release a compilation of my experiences and recaps of my time in Baltimore and New York Film Festival when it's all said and done. Jester has returned. Jester, always a pleasure seeing you. I hope you're doing well. Arnold, why Baltimore? You probably missed this earlier. This weekend is Baltimore Comic-Con. I am helping my friend out with his business. I will talk about the business later on. He's launching a new app. It's kind of fitting. I think you guys will be interested in it because there was a time, if you remember, many streams ago, we were talking about autographs, his signatures, and all that. This app that he works on helps facilitate you getting your stuff signed by artists and celebrities and all those things like that. With just a small minimal fee, you can get your stuff signed, and we can also help you grade your comic books. I'll be helping him with that stuff as he launches his app. So I'll be talking more about that stuff afterwards later on. So that's why I'll be in Baltimore. So like I said, very busy next couple of weeks. So I don't know exactly when I'll be able to stream again. I'm hoping I can stream again sometime next week. But I will let you guys know. I'll post a post in the channel to let you guys all know. Jester's doing well. Has amazing, phenomenal, almost groundbreaking news, but there are 2 pieces of news, 1 or 2. Whatever it is, I want to hear it. Let's go. Nice way to close out the stream. Let's hear Jester's news. I do have to run soon. Too bad I don't have like one of those like news channel like Jester with breaking news coming to you live. Jester with the news. The anticipation's killing me, Jester. Oh my gosh. I'll start out with number 1. Recently saw The Thing for the first time. Rated 9.7 out of 10. If you guys haven't seen the movie The Thing, that is one of the classic monster horror movies from the 80s. If you love freaking movies like Big Trouble in Little China and what is it? Escape from New York. Of course, you already know the lead actor there. And God, why can't I remember his name right now? Oh my gosh. What's wrong with me? My brain literally just farted in front of my face and said, F you. Kurt Russell. One of Kurt Russell's great performances. Even though he's not in the movie a lot, really. But what made that movie so good was that for a movie that came out in the 80s, the type of special effects and the creature effects that they did for a movie for that time, mwah, chef's kiss. Such a great movie. I'm glad you saw it finally. I'm glad you enjoyed it because that is definitely an all-time classic. Highly recommend it to anyone who loves like 80s horror thriller type movies, creature features. That is definitely a movie to watch. What is news number 2?
Wow, wow.
And while I'm waiting for that, let me just make sure that the Mickey 17 trailer didn't drop yet. Anything? No, nothing. Nothing. Boo. Also, if you're watching live, please don't forget, hit that like button. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I will love you all tremendously, more than I do now. Watch out for people in Chewbacca costumes. Well, I'll be working, so I don't know if I'll have time to mingle so much. I think I will be. So I'm going to try to take as much footage as I can from the convention. Now, if it's a female Chewbacca, I think it's all fair, right? Let the games begin. Arnold, I think it's safe to say. Number 2, I have done so well in my film class that I have been selected as out of 2 people in my entire school to compete in video production at state competitions this year for Skills USA. That is fantastic news, Jester. Everyone in the chat right now, please throw up hearts in reaction. Everyone wish Jester congratulations. Let's have Jester feel it, because that is amazing news. That is so awesome to hear, Jester. That's amazing. You must be so excited. I'm so happy for you. So just out of curiosity, what does this competition entail? Is it you actually producing your own short film, or are you going to be helping in editing a film to be entered in a competition? Like, what are the next steps for you for this competition this year? Also, I don't think I had a chance to ask you, and I'm learning more and more about you, that you're very much into movies and filmmaking, and I guess the production of movies. What is it that you eventually would love to do as far as your career when school's all said and done? Oops, sorry. I'm cracking my knuckles into the microphone. That doesn't sound so good. I'm so sorry. Is anyone excited for Agatha All Along and for the Penguin series this week? I'm curious, what's the temperature like for you guys about those 2 shows? Jester, we are given a topic. We have a certain amount of time to edit, film, and create the video of the topic, and I would love to get into the film business as a director or scriptwriter. Jester, that sounds amazing. Do me a favor. I would love to hear your progress with your competition, with what you come up with. If it's something you would love for you to show us here on a live stream, I'd be more than happy to do so. I wish you, of course, obviously the best of luck. If you are doing so well in your class right now, I'm sure you're going to kill it. I just think that's going to be fascinating. So, again, major congratulations to you. That's awesome. And again, I would love to hear your progress. So don't be shy and let us know, okay? Just saying, I'm also writing a movie script that I would love to have you read. How I will get you to read it, I don't know. I think now for that, when the Discord is finally up and running, I think that will be the perfect time to do so. I was telling Colonels earlier that I expect to have the Discord up and running, hopefully, fingers crossed, November, December. If you have it done beforehand and you would love to have me look at it, I'll tell you how you could send it over to me. But that's all exciting stuff, Jester. I'm very excited for you, really. That's awesome stuff. All right, guys, I think now is a good time. I do have to run, unfortunately. I have an appointment at 6 that I have to prep for. Also, I'm trying to keep the streams shorter. You know, I think it just works better with the algorithm and stuff like that. Jester, anytime, seriously. And again, I'm so super excited for you. That's awesome news. Every time I hear someone with the passion of film or has a passion of film like I have, it's awesome, especially when you're doing something with it. That's amazing. So before I head on out for today, I want to just quickly give a big shout out to all the lovely people who joined in and had great conversations today. Obviously, Jester, looking forward to bigger and great things from you. Arnold, always a pleasure to have you around. Colonels, always a pleasure. Am I Dead Yet? Always happy to see you here. You know, very, very happy for all of you guys. And for all of you who have been watching and just been keeping quiet in the background, that's all perfectly, all fine and good. I love you all equally. I'll love you even more if you hit that like button. But I will catch you next time. Again, don't know when I'm going to get a chance to stream again, but stay tuned to the channel for the videos I upload, the community posts that I put up there, keeping you up to date with everything. And if you want to see daily vlogs of my time in Baltimore at the convention and at New York Film Festival, great way to do so is just for $1 a month, become a member of the channel, and you get to see all those vlogs included with that membership. Dagamara Mirtiuk, I hope I said that right. Kisses from Poland. Kisses right back to you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you're from. I will catch you all again in the next one. But until then, stay cool, stay classy, stay safe. Peace out, y'all. Bye-bye.